All right, so we are recording. Welcome back to Brunch and Picks, week 4 of the NFL slate. So I have my alarm set for 11:30. Gonna try and get it. Hopefully, be able to get some lines on the Premier League game.
Oh
Arsenal,
yeah, there's a
the
two
Arsenal.
o'clock game, right? Man United.
Well, there's 11:30 too. Man United plays at 2, and then Arsenal plays at 11:30. So
That's big. I don't think Arsenal's going to win the Premier League, but it's still pretty big for them.
right,
All
they
right, so I'll get it started. I'll start it up, and I'm going to start off with a banger, in my opinion, a play that I'm putting 4 units on. I'm definitely going to go pretty big on this one, and this is in that Browns Chargers game. Um, oh, can we just mute?
yeah,
I don't have the
I
host
got you.
prepared. All right. Basically, I'm going with the Browns Chargers, and I'm going with the Browns +3. I'm taking an alternate line. It's at 2 at DraftKings, and it's like -130 at +3 on DraftKings. And I'm going to take that line. The reason why is the mismatch on the rushing side of the ball. Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt are the best running duo this season. They're first in EPA per play on the ground, and the Chargers are 28th in run defense so far. I think in this game, I think in this game, the Browns are going to run all over the Chargers defense. And plus, also something's worth mentioning, Myles Garrett is fully healthy now. And he will give Justin Herbert a lot of trouble. The Chargers O-line is pretty bad right now. I think they're 22nd in advanced metrics. So I am going to take a nice play on the Browns at +3 at 4 units. Also, I'm not going to take it, but I think a good supplementary play would be to take the Browns team total over. Again, I think the running defense is really good. By the way, Giants just got a field goal. Our spread is looking good. So I like the Browns a lot here. 4 unit play. The run defense is great. And obviously the Chargers are still banged up. So yeah. What do you think about that, Jacob?
Yeah, I
Go.
have on my notes. I'm staying away from this game because Herbert's still battling injuries, but who knows? He can come out slinging it. But on my
Yeah.
notes, I have Browns -2. So that was a lean. That was a lean play for me, but I'm staying away from that. But that's what I had on my notes. So
All right. I mean, yeah, it's cool. Next game we're going to the Saints versus the Seahawks. I like this game a lot. And I'm gonna ride with the Seahawks in this game. I think the Saints defense has been very underwhelming after the previous 2 years in 2020 and 2021. They've been really good, but this year they're very underwhelming, 18th in overall yards per play. And we saw how well the Seahawks played here. We saw how well the Seahawks have played so far this season. Their offense has been great. And they scored 48 points against the Lions. Like they shredded the Lions secondary. The Lions
right,
aren't very good, obviously, but still, for Geno Smith to come into Seattle, he's honestly better than Russell Wilson this season. So Seahawks definitely have won that trade so far. And their offense, I think, will continue to be great against the Saints. Another play I like in that game, because as good as the Seahawks offense is, their defense is still really bad. I'm taking the over 45 in this game, which I think is a lock. You know, the Saints with Andy Dalton, they're still a decent offense. I think Andy Dalton has been better than Jameis Winston's in the game. Obviously, we have a smaller sample size, but the Seahawks secondary is terrible, and their offense is really good. I took this over with the Seahawks Lions last week, and I'm going to take it again with the Seahawks Saints this week. Give me over 45. That is my more confident play at 3 units, but I also like the Seahawks to cover 5.5 at 2 units too.
yeah, I think the Seahawks are playing with a chip on their shoulder because everyone thought they were just gonna
Yeah.
be a wash and kind of go for the draft picks this season. So I do like the Seahawks in this game.
Okay.
I don't have anything on the over under. Looks like the weather's pretty fair throughout the
Yeah. I mean, the
so
Seahawks have been terrible defensively. They let up points to everyone. So
right.
there's no reason I don't see this game. I think it's a relatively low total. So I'm taking it at 45. Moving on to the next game. I got the Jets and the Dolphins, a little New York battle. I don't know really who will win this game, so I'm staying away from the spread, but I will be targeting the total in this game. And I'm going to target the under. Teddy Bridgewater is not going to wow you. He's not going to make a really big explosive play. He's not an absolute weapon, but what he is he's pretty reliable, and that's what you want in a backup quarterback. And that's what he'll be for the Seahawks today. I think he'll be a reliable weapon, but
You
for
mean
the
the Dolphins? For the Dolphins.
Dolphins.
For Dolphins.
I think he'll be a reliable weapon for the Dolphins today. And I think he'll throw a lot of short passes. I think they'll be able to move the ball, but not very well. And they're not going to get a lot of big chunk plays, especially the Dolphins' run game isn't great. So I don't see the Dolphins scoring a lot of points here. On the flip side, we have the Jets. Zach Wilson's good, but he still had 2 interceptions last week against the Steelers, despite having that really good touchdown drive. I think this game goes under. I think both quarterbacks aren't going to get this game's not going to have a lot of big plays. It's going to be a slow, methodical game. I like the under at 46, 2-unit play. What about you?
So that's the thing so we were talking before this, and Sam said, he's like, I have a great feeling about this week. I'm having trouble finding lines. So this is another game I'm going to fade. No idea how Bridgewater's going to play. I mean, essentially, I think Zach Wilson's a backup as well. I don't think he got thrown into that Jets offense way too soon. He never really got to be a backup and learn the NFL life playing style. So when you have 2 essential backups, hoping there's no Jets fans that watch this, they might agree with me as well. But yeah, it's just I'm gonna fade this game as well. I got a few plays. Sam's just touching on the games that I don't have plays on. So
yeah, I'll Jacob, I'll let you give one of your plays. I think I'm kind of dominating the time.
Oh no, that's cool. You have a good feeling about it. So
I do have a good feeling. I haven't even got it. I mean, Mike Browns is a good play, but besides that, all right, yeah. So I got my next play. We're gonna go to Tampa Bay versus Atlanta in a little division match, and I like a nice bounce back spot for Tampa here. The Falcons do not have Cordero Patterson or Kyle Pitts, their 2 best offensive weapons. And I think the Bucs have been pretty average so far, especially offensively. The running game has been terrible. Fournette has underperformed. They definitely passed a lot better, scoring 31 points. Tom Brady had a great game against the Chiefs last week, but the Chiefs secondary isn't really that good. I still do like them in a bounce back spot. I like their defense to shut down Mariota. I don't think Mariota is a very viable quarterback. He's not that great. They don't have a lot of weapons. They're playing backup running backs. I mean, their number 1 receiver is Drake London, who's good, but he's not a wide receiver 1. So I like the Bucs with his weapons back. I think Tom Brady is a chip on his shoulder after his recent divorce. He's a unsatisfied man, and he's going to come into this game, and I think he's going to cover that big spread. I got the Bucs -10 at 3 units. Let's go.
3 units on that?
3 units. Tom Brady's a bad man.
2
to 3 units.
I guess you are. I guess you are a Northeasterner. So as I always say, I cheer for my Colts when I can, wearing the go blue, wearing the Colts blue. Not a fan of Tom Brady. Father Time is definitely catching up with him on top of this. I mean, the stress. I can't imagine the family stress he's going through, especially with his kids. Hope that is resolved peacefully, but also you got to think about the financial stress. I mean, I don't know if they had a prenup, who's going to get the house. Like, these are like real life things he's struggling with from Monday through Friday, Saturday, and then probably Saturday. He's locked in on the game. I think 10 is a lot. The Falcons aren't good though, so yeah,
not even a bounce back spot for Tom Brady, but a bounce back spot for the defense too. And you've got to think like this: the divorce the problems didn't start this week. Like they've probably been going on for a while. So I don't see his mental thing changing. He was great against the Chiefs last week, so I don't know if he's going to really drop off. I think they're going to bounce back, especially the defense and the run game. I have the -10, 2 to 3 units. If you take it on the safer side, it's a big spread, but I like to take risks. So.
So I do have a play on this. It's the under. So I think the under is going to hit. I think they're going to try and get Fournette into the run game. That's going to eat some clock up. obviously the Falcons are going to try and keep Brady with his weapons off the field. So I think they're going to get a lot of runs. So I like the under. I don't know what the spread is right now. I looked at it an hour ago, so it very well could have changed.
The under
But
on the Bucks game. I'll check it right now.
yeah, so we have it's under 46. So I like
Ooh.
the under of this game, but on the spread, I mean, the line has been moving like crazy. It started at 12 and a half. It came down to 10. There's a lot of money on both sides. So that I'll let you all know. I'll post a screenshot in the VIP on where the money is at game time. So, but I like the under 40 and a half, and that usually a 1 unit play for me. I'm not as risk adverse as Sam is. So
Next game, I think Jacob also has a play on this one too. So this is the Titans Commanders game. And I think Jacob likes the Titans, but I like the under a little bit more in this game. The Washington Commanders are probably bottom in every offensive metric. Carson Wentz has been really bad. The run game isn't good. And overall, the offense for the Commanders isn't good. Obviously, the Titans defense hasn't been anything special, but they're good enough to shut an offense down that has been very disappointing through the last 3 weeks after a week 1 win over the Jags. And the one thing that the Commanders do well is stop the run. So I think they're going to be able to stop Derrick Henry to an extent. I don't think the Titans offense will really get going too much. I like the under at 46. That's what it was. Oh, no, not 46, not 46. My bad. At 43. So I like the Titans Commanders to go under 43 to 2-unit play. It's a lower under with 2 at least decent quarterbacks. So I can see a scenario where it goes over, but just looking at the numbers, I'm riding with the under in this game. What about you, Jacob?
yeah, so that's the thing is, are we going to get the wins from the first 2 weeks where he led the league in touchdowns thrown, or are we going to get him from the last 2 weeks and the quarterback he was with the Colts last year?
Yeah.
So obviously I'm salty about Wentz and how we didn't make the playoffs. If you haven't noticed, pretty emotional about my Colts team. So I think Titans -1. I don't see how Washington is even close in this game, unless of course Wentz goes off. So I'm going to take for 2 units Titans money line at -115. I'm gonna buy, if you will, that extra point. No, if they win by 1, there's no sense in pushing that. So 2-unit play for the Titans at -115 money line. And then I also like Derrick Henry. So Washington gives up, they're the 16th. So they're right in the middle on rushing yards allowed. So Derrick Henry, I think he's starting to find his groove. We saw that against the Colts. I think he had like 76 and a half. It was given 76 and a half yards last week and ended up with over 100. So I'm going to take the Henry over 82 and a half for a half a unit. And then the other half of that unit, I'm going to buy Titans down to -9.5. So I think they win this by 2 scores.
Wow.
So I'm going to buy that down to -9.5. And again, so when my units are to win, so this is going to be pretty good odds.
Yeah.
So you're really only risking maybe 0.1 up to 0.2 units to get that half a unit play. So that's where we look for where the risk. So the risk really it's low risk, high reward scenario on that. So
yeah, also
essentially this game's a 3-unit game for me.
Yeah. Also, my units are to win as well. If anyone's confused on that, basically it's just if let's say you're at like $100 a unit and you want to place a 1-unit play, just make sure you're betting the amount that you're winning $100 with. So if the odds are -120, you want to bet 120 to win $100. That's how I like betting. You don't have to do that, but that's how I like my units. It's a little easier.
Right.
Anyways, next game I'm pretty confident in. Another one of my really big plays is this Niners-Panthers game. This may be the biggest mismatch on one side of the ball, offense to defense, of the entire season so far. I think the Niners have the best defense according to PFF. And they also, according to advanced analytics, have the number one rushing defense. So McCaffrey will not be able to get a lot against this Niners team, who has been really good against the run. Plus, they are also third in pass rush. They bring pressure on the quarterback. They did it to Stafford on Monday night. You saw those plays where he would get sacked, take out field goal range, less yards, a lot of 3rd and 16s, a lot of 3rd and longs. And that's going to happen today. Baker Mayfield is horrific. He has the worst. He has the worst quarterback efficiency, worse than Justin Fields, worse than any quarterback you can think of. He's the worst in the league. And he's even worse under pressure. So there's going to be no passing game. There's going to be no running game. The Panthers offense will have no daylight against a Niners defense, which has been suffocating. So 2 plays, you could take the team total under for Carolina. I don't know what is that at right now. I'm going to quickly check for you guys. Because that is also a very good play to take, as I don't see the Panthers getting many points in this game. I just really don't see it.
So you say the under of Carolina's team total?
That's one of the plays. Yeah. So their team total is at 16.5. That's a good under to take. Or you could take their under on their total touchdowns at 1.5. Both of those, in my opinion, are good plays, as I think the Niners will lock down the Panthers. And the play I'm actually taking is Niners minus 6.5. I think in the first half, the Niners offense, the Panthers defense is relatively good. So I think they'll hold the Niners to maybe a field goal or a touchdown. But I think in the second half, the Niners will get a couple of touchdowns, maybe even get an interception, and get some nice plays for Jimmy Garoppolo and the Niners to finish this one off. I'm not crazy confident in the Niners offense, so I'll take this at a 4-unit play or a 5-unit play, depending on what you think of the Niners offense. But definitely, this is one of my best plays of the day. I do not see a world where this doesn't hit. I'm not going to lie. So, yeah, Jacob, you got anything here?
Yeah, I'm a big McCaffrey fan. His injury proneness definitely hurts, and he's been dealing with, I think, a quad. They've been massaging his quad out, a tight quad. But I think the 49ers run defense may be a hindrance to them in this game. I think they're going to get a lot of dumps off to McCaffrey. So I'm checking right now what his over receiving yards or what his over catches would be. So if you want to look that up real quick, what McCaffrey's receiving props are.
I'll check it right now for you.
I don't have a play on this right now. I think the 40.5 or the totals opened up at 38 and it's now up to 40. There's 37.5 and that's now up to 40. So money's coming in on the over. So if I do have a play, then it will be right at game time again. And I'll post it kind of how I do. I know it's not convenient for a lot of people as you can't be by your phone, but again, Sam follows a lot of the statistics, the analytics. I follow where the money goes. We were talking I had Stanford upset yesterday because that's where the money came. I mean, they started out at 9 point underdogs. It moved down to 4 by game time, and a ton of money came in on them at +4. If you're all in the chat, you'll see that I woke up a very unhappy person today. Thought I went to bed with it locked. I had the under 53.5, and I had same game parlay with Stanford money line at like +550. And needless to say, I'm not very happy with the cornerback and the defensive play call. They called a cover 2, and all you need to be in is a cover 4. That's the situation, but I digress. It's a new day, kind of.
And by the way, on those McCaffrey props, McCaffrey's reception yards are at 36.5. At over, both are -115 over and under, and his receptions are 4.5.
Oh shoot! So I'm taking 1 unit on both of those. You said 4.5 is his.
It's at -140. Keep in mind, it's at -140.
That's that's one of the lowest odds I would go. I'll put
I think a 1 unit play is worth it, honestly.
Yeah, so I'll do 1 unit on both the over 36.5 receiving yards and over 4.5 catches for McCaffrey. I don't think they're going to try and run it down. Nobody runs it down 49ers defensive line.
they
So
don't.
they're going to do a little shovel passes and dump offs. And Mayfield's prone to getting sacked. So I think he's going to be looking to check it down. And then I'll be looking. So since I have 2 units on this game already, I won't play the over under unless I see some crazy money coming in.
Mm-hmm. All right, next game. Cowboys, Rams. This is in SoFi Stadium. And I'm rolling with the Cowboys here, like I have done the past 2 weeks. And they're going to continue to make money for me because I have some major concerns with the Rams offense after what happened last week with the Niners. I mean, they were not good at all. They didn't have a single touchdown in the game. And Stafford was getting sacked left and right. And I think that's going to be more of the same. The Cowboys have a better pass rush than the Niners, which is hard to do, which means it's really good with Micah Parsons, D-Law on the edge. And this team is just very good defensively. And I have no trust in the Rams offense. Some people like this as a bounce back for the Rams. I don't. I think the Cowboys will shut down the Rams for the most part here. I also have some concerns for the Cowboys offense, though. I mean, Cooper Rush, although he's had no turnovers, has had 4 turnover-worthy plays and had 2 interceptions called back due to flags and penalties. So although I don't have a ton of trust in Cooper Rush in that Dallas offense, I don't know if they're going to win the game. I definitely think they're going to cover. Their defense is good enough to hold the Rams down. I like the Cowboys plus 5.5 at a 2 to 3 unit play. So that's my pick there.
Oof. You can't deny Cooper Rush at this point. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know what they're going to do when oh man, blanking on name. Their starting quarterback.
Dak.
Yeah, Dak. I mean, Jerry Jones says Dak is their guy, but how do you bench someone who's 4-0 as a starter, 5-0 as 4-0 as a starter?
Yeah, 4-0 is 4.
I think the Rams are going to overwhelm the Cowboys. I don't have a play on this, but if I were to, I think I like the Rams to cover that 4.5.
I don't know about that.
So like I said, I think the freshman and sophomore jitters are going to get the Rams have a really good defensive line. But yeah, I'm not gonna bet against Cooper Rush and an undefeated quarterback. He might be the next Tom Brady. Who knows? So I'm staying away from this. But if I were to, I would have chosen the Rams on this game.
All right. I mean, I disagree. So
I mean, you have 3 units at it. So
yeah, 3 units on this. I'm still in the lead. I think at 3-2 in our head-to-head. He beat me last week with the Giants.
Oh no, it was the Giants.
He beat me last week. Fair. Okay. I'll give him that one. But I think I'm going to get revenge this week. I hope there's a play we bet against each other, but this one, Jacob and I are in agreement on, and this is the Bengals-Ravens game. And I have the Bengals plus 3.5. The Bengals defense has been very underrated this season. They've been actually really good. They played really well against the Dolphins. They played well against the Cowboys. Their defense has been solid this whole season. It's been the offense that has been a little shaky, but they played very well against the Dolphins, and that receiving core is the best in the league. I think 3.5 is a great spread to take here. The Ravens passing defense is not good. I don't think they're going to be able to hold any of those receivers from the Bengals. I think Joe Burrow is going to get a lot of those good big plays, and the Ravens have a hard time closing out games. I like the Bengals at plus 3.5. Jacob also likes their money line too, but I'm taking them to cover 3.5 at 3 units. What about you, Jacob?
Yeah, I think it's down to 3 now.
You could also just bet it up to 3.5.
So wait, the Bengals, where is it? Yeah. So yeah, you can definitely bet it up. So yeah, so DraftKings has it as 3. So it's moved a half a point in the last hour, which is quite a bit. I do like the Bengals on this. Yes, Lamar Jackson is going for money. He's trying to become the next guy to hold out and get paid, and he's doing a pretty good job of it. But I like the Bengals plus 3. I'm going to put a unit on that, and then I'm also going to put a unit on the money line at plus 140. So that's my upset of the day.
That's a late
I
night game.
consider an upset anything that's more than a field goal. Like if it's like +1 or +1.5, I don't think that's an upset. It's pretty much even
Yeah,
at that
I agree.
point.
I agree.
But anything that's +3 or above. So definitely put that on there. And then some money is coming on the totals. So I'm watching that as well. Might do so it's went from 49 to 47.5. I might do a same game parlay with that, try to revenge my Stanford same game parlay upset and under loss. So we'll see. Right now it's at 47.5. It might, if it drops down to 46, I might bet the under on that.
All right. Here is my second play of the day. So I have two of them, two equally good plays, but it's the Eagles. Jacob is staying away from this game, so we already know he thinks Kyler Murray is a little unpredictable, which is fair. But I'm going with the Eagles at -5.5. They have a mismatch every single aspect of the game here. Their passing offense is much better. Jalen Hurts is much more efficient and better in the passing game than Kyler Murray has been this season. Yes, they did beat the Panthers last week, and I did have the Cardinals in that game, but I do not have them in this game. I think Jalen Hurts is going to shred the Cardinals secondary, who was 28th in DVOA. The offensive line for the Eagles is first, and the Cardinals have a terrible blitz rate. They cannot bring pressure to the quarterback. That's the reason why the Panthers had the lead for a little bit of that game, because Baker wasn't pressured. They're not going to bring pressure to Jalen Hurts. The run is going to be great. The run defense, they're 22nd in DVOA against the run. And the secondary for the Eagles is 6th. They're third and fourth and long situations, and they're first and second down situations. The Eagles are a very good team. And eventually those numbers may be slightly inflated, because those are obviously like off the charts. They have like top 5, top 10 numbers in every single area. But the Cardinals are really not a good football team. Like, they just really aren't. And they're going to lose to the Eagles, and they're going to lose by 5.5. Eagles -5.5, 5-unit play of the day. Lock it in. Come on.
I see trap game written all over this. Kyler Murray is the dude. I mean, the way he runs. I saw this meme about someone said Kyler Murray runs like a toddler that is running away from his parents, and I cannot unsee it. So if you see Kyler Murray out scrambling, just imagine a toddler running away from his parents holding a baby bottle. But yeah, I mean, it went from 3 to 5.5. So obviously the money people are on the Eagles. I just see this as a trap game. When stuff like that.
Well, I have a question. So why do you see it as a trap game?
Just when everything lines up so well like that, and so much, it's all the public. I mean, the entire public is on the Eagles. So we know Vegas, we know my tin hat theory didn't work very well with the Cardinals yesterday, but here we go. I need to get me an aluminum foil hat so I can put it on when I talk about my conspiracy theories within sports. But
I mean, if you want to lie with Jacob and go against the public, I think just don't overthink this one. Like,
I'm not betting. I'm not betting it.
Unless Kyler Murray is sent by God himself to be, I don't see a way.
I'm not betting it. Trap games I stay away from. So, but yeah, so I mean, the money is there. Eagles obviously are the team to beat right now. So it is a good play. I think
it also depends on the type of
I'm not fading it. I'm just staying away.
It depends on the type of better you are too. So like, if you bet like me, you're probably going to take the Eagles at -5.5. But if you bet in other ways, then you may stay away. I mean, here's the final pick I have. Jacob may have some other picks after this that he'll go over, but this is my final pick of the day. And it comes in this Jacksonville Texans game, little divisional matchup. This is big, Jacob. I know Jacob probably gonna be watching this one, as there's no Colts game. This is big for the Colts. I have Jacksonville -7, and the Texans do have a knack to stay in games, so they have been pretty good at getting close to the spread. They went on a 17-0 run in the second half against the Chargers. They still didn't cover the spread, and my bet still hit last week. So, yeah, but I think Jacksonville was up 14-0 against the Eagles. You know, they had a sizable lead, but the Eagles are the Eagles, and they're a very good team right now. And they just came back and scored 29 straight points. I think this week is going to be a different story. I think Jacksonville, when they get going, will take off and run with it. We saw that against the Chargers. They won 38-10. Once they had it going, it's over. And I think Texans allow teams to get going. They kept it close against the Broncos and the Colts, the two most fraudulent teams in the NFL right now. So other than that, I don't see them keeping it close against Jacksonville, a team who is the opposite of a fraud, a team who I think is one of the best offenses in the league. And I think Trevor Lawrence is a really good quarterback. So give me the Jacksonville Jaguars -7 at a 2-unit play. That's right.
Yeah.
That's all I got. You got anything else?
Yeah, I got a few. But so the Texans are definitely they're a weird team this year. Everyone obviously thought they're gonna be bottom barrel. They are, but they are in the games as opposed to last year. They just get blown out. I think they have a really good young linebacking core. So if they bring heat, Trevor Lawrence really hasn't been pressured. You can see last week when the Eagles brought pressure. I mean, yes, they got lucky with that pick six or that defensive touchdown, whatever it was.
Yeah, I agree.
But when they brought pressure, Lawrence couldn't really do much. So I'm staying away from this game.
Can the Texans do that? Can the Texans bring pressure on?
Yeah, I mean, they have a couple good linebackers that
they're 21st in pass rush though, so that's right. I'm doing.
And that's the thing. Trevor Lawrence is a really good quarterback, as we're seeing if he has a decent coach under him. So I'm staying away from this. If I do, I'm looking at the over under on this game, but I'm staying away from this game.
All right, yeah. So Jacob, any more picks? Because I'm done.
All right. So I guess we just bet on different games. So I'm looking at the Pittsburgh versus Buffalo game.
Yeah, I actually haven't. I didn't look at because it's 14. The spread's 14.
Right. That's it. It's hard. It's hard in the NFL. No matter. I mean, unless Pittsburgh's they're a well-coached team. Mike Tomlin's a good coach. To put, and this is if it stays at 14. I think this is the first time that this Pittsburgh Steelers since the merger, the NFL merger with the what was it, AFL? Not AFL. Since the merger, however many 50, 60 years ago. This is the first, they're the last team to never have a 14-point spread against them. Yeah. Which is insane to think about. Like the Pittsburgh Steelers have never been underdogs by 14 points. So just for that fact, I'm leaning towards Pittsburgh. That's not an official play. Again, keep saying it, wait till kickoff. I think I did talk about Tampa Bay, Atlanta covering the 10.5 at Tampa Bay, and then the under. So I'm 1 unit on the under of that, but also 10.5 points is a lot for Tampa Bay to cover. So what did you have on that game?
Me?
Yeah. Tampa Bay, Atlanta.
I was gonna on a Bucks Falcons game.
Yeah.
I Tampa 10
at 10.
Yeah, -10.
All right, well then let's do it. Let's fade this.
I'll fade plus 10.
I have them at 10.5.
I'm telling you, don't bet against the GOAT. Don't bet against the GOAT.
So all right, so we'll make it official. This is the game. It was a lean for me, but why not? Let's do it for a friendly rivalry.
We need at least one head-to-head.
Right.
So that's our head-to-head.
So for the Bears Minnesota game, the Bears are the fourth best pass defense. They're averaging 168.5 yards, but Kirk Cousins on fire. Adam Thielen and Justin Jefferson really can't be touched. So I like Cousins over 250. So I have quite a few plays on this Bears Vikings game. So I like Cousins over 250 yards passing. I like Fields. So Minnesota is the 26th pass defense in the league, and they give up 263.5, and the NFL is only giving Fields 161.5. So if I will never bet the Bears again this year if Fields doesn't cover 100 points. So I have Fields also as a 1 unit on over 161.5.
Has he even hit that this year?
Yeah, he hit it last week.
How many he had last week?
He hit in the third quarter. They gave him 145, and he I don't know how many he ended up with, but he went over.
That was like the first time then, because he had like 100.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, definitely. But you can't consider the first game.
Oh, by the way, guys, anyone who took my early morning Giants play, Giants have 1st and goal
From the 2, nice.
Yeah, and at the 2-yard line, they can score here. If they get a touchdown here,
Come on, Saquon. Let's see. I wanted Saquon over. I didn't get it in. His over under was 75.5. He's at 68. So let's see.
He should hit that. He should hit that.
Equanimous St. Brown. I'm a big fan of the St. Brown brothers. I have the Lions. Saquon got a shoulder injury. Oh, damn. Saquon's out. Oh, thanks, Dallas. So yeah, so it's a good thing I didn't bet the over of Saquon. But I think Equanimous St. Brown.
That would have been 2 weeks in a row that a running back got injured. That I can't believe that Jonathan Taylor thing happened. That's still pretty
Jonathan
crazy.
Taylor had over 20.5, and he ended up with 20 with a sprained ankle in the first drive of the fourth quarter.
Yeah, that's maybe the worst beat ever.
Yeah. So Equanimous St. Brown over 22.5. I'm gonna put a half a unit on that. If Fields gets over 161, St. Brown's definitely gonna hit that. So they're only giving Thielen 53. I like that bet, but I'm not. I already have 2.5 units on this game, so I'm not gonna bet that.
Yeah. Also back to the Steelers Bills game. This is an unofficial bet, but I was looking at the line and I like Devin Singletary to hit his over receiving prop at 17.5. Giants just scored, by the way, guys. Sorry. It doesn't show how they scored, but they did. Basically, I like Devin Singletary's receiving props. The Bills don't really run it that much, and Singletary has had 125 receiving yards over the last 2 weeks in his last 2 games. He also runs the most routes by any running back, so he's on the field and running a route most of the time at 118. I like him to hit it over 17.5. Again, I'm not a big fan of player props, but that's a nice player prop to lock in, especially if you're looking at a same game parlay for that Bills Steelers game. Just want to throw that in there.
Awesome. I like the FanDuel. FanDuel has a special at plus 200 odds. It's the Browns at 7.5, the Falcons at 21.5, and the Cowboys at 10.5. So I really like that. If you want to throw a half a unit on that, plus 200, 1 unit. So risk a half a unit to win 1 unit on that. That's from Pat McAfee, Tony Diggs, Hammer Down Show. I think they're pretty good cappers. And then let's see, I talked about the Bengals upset. So there's this one analytic guy. He's a really, really famous statistician called Wong, W-O-N-G, and he has Wong teasers. So it's got to go against so what you essentially do is you tease these teams to 6 points either way. So if you have questions, we're kind of running out of time here. I want to leave about 5 minutes for questions, but I'm going to tease the Commanders. So basically you give each team 6 points. So tease the Commanders, Browns, Vikings, and Jags.
Wait, didn't you have the Titans?
Right. But yeah. So that's what I said. I'm going to go against I'm going to go against one of my picks. So I do have the Titans at -1, but if you tease the Commanders 6 points, that's +5, right? So even if so I'll tease the Commanders, so the Commanders are +1, so I will tease the Commanders to +7. So does that make sense?
Yeah.
So tease the Commanders to +7. What are the Browns odds? Let me bring this up so I can tell you, just so people aren't really confused.
I think the Browns are at like -120.
Browns are +2. So tease the Browns to +8. So really, tease the Commanders to +7.5, the Browns to +8. We'll go with the Vikings. What are they? Vikings are favorite, so -8.5. So then you tease them to +3. Yep. And then the Jags, we are teasing to money line. So that's just a quick. I will put that in, and I'll give the odds when I post that. But so just a fun little teaser. Probably put like half a unit, quarter unit on this. So that's the Commanders plus 7.5, the Browns plus 8, the Vikings plus 3, the Jags. Obviously, if the Titans win 9.5, then that teaser is gone. So if you want to fade, I might do a quarter unit with this, and then I might remove the Commanders and put another quarter unit on there. Just so I hope I can win that 3-team teaser along with the Titans play.
Yeah.
So,
All right. Now let's just do a little. I'll do a little recap of my plays quickly because I see a couple people joined after, and then we'll just go if anyone has a question about any of the picks. So I'll just go over mine quickly. First play was Browns plus 3 against the Chargers. Very confident. I think the Browns will run all over the Chargers. Not very confident in how the Chargers are playing right now. Very banged up defense. Browns plus 3, 4 units. Seahawks Saints. I had the Seahawks at plus 5.5. They have the 4th best offense in the league and one of the best offensive efficiencies. That's better than the Bills and the Chiefs. Surprisingly, little inflated. So Seahawks plus 5.5. And since their secondary is so bad, and honestly, Andy Dalton isn't that bad either. Saints Seahawks over 45 at 3 units. Moving to the Jets Dolphins. They have Teddy Bridgewater, a reliable backup quarterback. I think he's going to throw a lot of safe passes. The run isn't really there. As Jacob said, Zach Wilson is still a bit inexperienced. I think this game goes under that 46 total. Then here comes the head-to-head matchup between me and Jacob, Tampa and Atlanta. I have Tampa bouncing back in a big way and covering that 10 spread. I think the defense is going to dominate the Falcons. Tom Brady will come back with all of his weapons, healthy and ready. Cordero Patterson and Kyle Pitts out for the Falcons, so I think Tampa's a pretty easy play here. Titans Commanders under 43 points. The Commanders have a really great run defense. The Titans have a hard time getting through that D-line. I think Derrick Henry won't have a great game, and we already know the Commanders' offense is bad. Give me under 43 at 2 units. Then here comes another one of our big plays, 49ers, minus 6.5. Big mismatch defensively, best run defense in the league, best defense overall according to PFF. And yeah, Niners, minus 6.5. Then Cowboys plus 5.5 against the Rams in SoFi Stadium. Cooper Rush, 3-0 as a starter. Second best pass rush in the league with the Cowboys. They're going to give Stafford trouble like the Niners gave him. Give me the Cowboys to cover 5.5. Then a game that Jacob and I are on total agreement on, Bengals Ravens, 8:20 primetime. Give me the Bengals plus 3.5. Get them by field goal. It's at plus 3 on DraftKings. You could probably tease it up at minus 125 to plus 3.5. So we get field goal insurance. We win if they lose by field goal. The Ravens secondary has been really bad, and they're not going to be able to defend the best receiving core in the league. Next, final 2 plays, Eagles minus 5.5. My play of the day, mismatch everywhere on the field. Eagles will stay undefeated and win by 5.5. And then final play, Jags minus 7 against the Texans. They are a team on the come up and a team that has surprised a lot of people this year. Give me the Jags to win by 7 in this division matchup. Anybody have any questions about the plays? Any questions about betting in general, or are we all good to go?
I have a couple soccer plays.
Yeah, so Jacob will go over the soccer plays. I just want to see if anyone has questions about any football bets.
And obviously, I'll put all my football bets right before kickoff, so probably 12:45, 12:50 in the VIP or the sports betting page. So I'm not going to go over those right now. I'll post them all right just to see what the money comes.
All right. Seems like no questions, Jacob. You can go over your soccer plays quickly.
All right. So I like, actually MLB, I like the Mets to close it out today. The odds aren't the best. They're minus 1.5 favorites, but I do like the Mets to close that out. I like Napoli right now. It's Napoli.
It's Napoli. Is it Napoli or Napoli?
I don't know. Napoli, and it's Italian. So Cremonese. Is that, did I get that right?
I think so.
So I like them over 2.5. I'm trying to find the Asian handicap.
Wait, what's an Asian handicap? Can you go over it? Because I actually don't even know what that is. And I'm like been doing this for a long time.
Okay. So Asian handicap is really only used in soccer. Basically you have like 0.75. So let's say someone takes over under at minus point or at 2.25 odds, right? So
Yeah.
essentially your bet, so you put $100 on, $50 goes to over two. And then $50 goes to over 2.5, or two and over 2.5. So if it lands at two, then you push your $50 bet and then you lose. But if you score three, then you win both of them. So it kind of it just
Gotcha.
helps. It just helps with your risk management and everything. So if you have like 3.75, if the team scores four, then you win both of them. If the team scores three, then let's say you have over 3.75. If the total is three, then you 0.25 of your bet goes on three, and 0.75 of your bet goes on over 3.75 goals.
Got it.
So I like I like Manchester United over Asian line 3. I think there's a lot of the goals going to be scored. So I don't know the odds on that, but I think there's going to be more than 3 goals, but I'm going to give myself that security. If only 3 get scored, then that's a push. And then over 2.5 of this, I can't find the Asian line for 3, so it's minus 150. So I think Napoli, if you all can find the Asian line, let's just do the 2.75. See what that is. The Asian handicap. So yeah, DraftKings doesn't even have the Asian handicap for the full game. They just have it for the first and second half of the game on this one. So let's just go over 2.5 at minus 150. Not the best odds, but I think if you have risk, then you can bet over over 3.5. That's at plus 165, but over 2.5 of the Napoli game.
Sounds
So
good
those
to me.
are so Manchester United 3 and over, Asian line 3, Napoli 2.5, and then the MLB play the Mets to close out the series. So yeah, if you have any questions, now's the time. If not, we'll see you.
Wrap this up. Yeah.
We'll see you in the chat, and best of luck, Bull. I hope you. I'm not talking to myself today. I feel bad because I just yell at the screen, and I get updates on my phone. I'm just like son of a gun. But
Yeah. Good luck to everyone except the people taking Jacob's Falcons play, as it will not hit.
10.5.
It's not going to hit. I'm telling you right now.
All right. Well, let's hope we get, what was that, 2 or 3 units? Your pack, your
Giants. I have 3.
3 units.
Wait, no. Yeah, 3 units. Yes.
I did not get up in time, so it was already 10-0, and I guess I should have bet the cover there when I looked at when the Packers got up 10-0. But all right, y'all have a wonderful day. And wait, there's a message. Giants in the red zone again. Oof.
They got a pick or something? They must have gotten a pick.
Did you sprinkle a little bit on that money line?
I didn't sprinkle any on Giants money line. I do really want the Giants to win, though. The Giants win, that would be great.
Oh wow, Daniel Jones. Let's see. It was Saquon Barkley's back in. Dang, Saquon's over 75 just hit. He had a 19-yard run, and he's gonna score.
Wait, did someone get a?
And he's gonna score.
Oh, they punted it. I guess they just punted it. I don't know.
And Saquon's gonna get his touchdown. I'm high on Saquon this year. He might be in the running for MVP. There it is, Saquon Barkley up the middle, 4 yards. Oh,
well, they had a 41-yard pass to Saquon.
19-yard run. I'm not exactly sure, but
no, they had a 41-yard pass. Unless I'm reading that wrong.
Daniel Jones pass short left out of bounds 19 for. Oh yeah, okay. So I guess he hasn't got his. I read that as a run.
Yeah, wow, he had a huge.
Well, then Saquon's over receiving hit on that one.
Wow, they have 2nd and goal too.
Oh, hey, he has 68. Yeah, he has 68 yards running too. So his receiving hit, his rushing.
Daniel Jones is honestly better than Aaron Rodgers. I'm completely
all right. I'm gonna hang up now. All right, go Giants.
All right, guys, let's go. Let's lock in today. Let's ride. See you guys.